Hi, this is Perry Parker. Welcome to Entrepreneurs in Mississippi. I'm with Craig Thames in Seminary, Mississippi. Craig is the owner of Big Pines Cattle Company, he and his wife Jody. And Craig does a lot of things, cattle being one of them. He's involved in other businesses, and we're going to talk about that and how Craig came to this place. Craig, you grew up in Seminary, is that right?
Yes, sir. Born and raised right here. 3 miles down the road, passed by this place every day of my life. Always dreamed of owning it. Never thought I would, but I do.
It's funny how life goes. What made you want to be in agriculture, beef business, or is that how? Tell me a little how you got started.
Well, my grandpa always had cows, and I was the one that took care of the cows because Daddy had a job, and Grandpa was older and couldn't do it. And I actually didn't really like the cow business because the tractor won't crank and
Problems.
all kind of problems. And but I took care of the cows, and I graduated high school after 12 years and went to work at welding, and then I become friends with a guy that was in the poultry business, and I decided I wanted to be in the poultry business. So. Daddy and Mama gave me 40 acres of land to help me get started, which I'm very appreciative.
Yep.
And so I built some poultry houses, and of course cattle goes
on
along
that
with
land, on
poultry
your
houses,
original
on the
land.
40 acres
Yep.
of Grandpa actually homesteaded the 40 acres, and so I built poultry houses on that. Done that for many years, and slowly got in the cow business because cattle and poultry goes great together.
You went on. You've done a good bit of real estate. Tell us a little about your real estate.
When I built the chicken houses, I built 4, and then I came back and I built 2 more later on, and it was really more than I could handle by myself. So I said, well, I'm going to build a little rental house, and so in the future, my chicken house help could live in a little rental house. So there was 4 acres come up for sale down the road, so I immediately bought it, and I built a little small house, cost about $50,000, and I didn't need no help at the time, so I just rented it. Well, my note was $400 a month, and I rented it for $600. And I said, well, this works. I like this. So the next summer, I got bored, so I built another one, and I rented it. And so I said, well, this is working great. I think I'll just build one a year, because in the summer it gets slow in the cattle business, it's chicken. So I just said, well, I'm going to build one a year, see how it goes. So I missed a couple of years not building them. But I caught up because I built 3 and then 5 more, and now I got 21 rental houses. And
That's a full-time job running.
Well,
how do you do that?
my wife handles all that, and she does a great job. And but she handles all the rentals. I stay out of it. All of my rentals, or most all of them, is brand new. So the maintenance and stuff like that's very non-existent. On the newer houses.
This real estate thing is that could be dangerous with a whole lot of credit, right?
Yeah, when a good deal comes along, I just can't hardly say no. And the old man told me, he said, you can get too many good deals. And I just didn't believe that, but I'm finding that to be true now, because I run across a lot of deals nowadays, and, if you get too many of them, it can be a problem.
An older gentleman in Jackson, Mississippi gave me a term couple of weeks ago I'd never heard before. You may have. You've done more real estate deals than I have. But have you ever heard D squared?
No.
You know what D squared means?
No.
He told me, Perry, D squared doesn't work. I said, D squared, what does that mean? He said, debt and dirt. I said, that's D squared, and D squared doesn't work.
Right. Right. That makes sense. I've had a lot of older gentlemen give me sayings before, and they all got good sayings, but it's like they don't never tell you the meaning of the saying, and it takes you 5 years to figure it out, which I guess is good because, when you figure it out, you really understand it instead of somebody telling you, and I've heard a lot of old sayings, and but that's a pretty good
one. Look, there are a lot of facets to Craig Thames, guys. We talked a little about agriculture. We talked a little about real estate. He's got other things going on, but one I want to go into is Craig is a competitive poker player. If you're comfortable talking about, you've been in these tournaments. I don't know anything about poker, but I watch it on TV occasionally because my sons say, "Oh, look what that guy's doing." How did you get from Seminary, Mississippi into competitive poker playing?
We just started playing just small games just for fun, and I really enjoyed it. And it takes a long time to really understand the game, but after you understand it, I like the game because it's a mental game. It ain't just about what cards you're holding. You know, you gotta, if you can figure out what your opponent's holding, it really don't matter what you're holding, because if he ain't got the best hand, you can make him lay it down. And poker playing is a lot like farming and business, because you know you just got to weigh the odds and you know, strategize and weigh the odds and figure out your next move.
I keep coming back to a picture of you sitting at a Las Vegas poker table. And what I've seen on TV, they tend to wear glasses. Do you wear glasses?
I do.
So you wear glasses?
You know, a lot of people thinks, you know, you can't read a person, but you can, you know. I mean, you can't just look in their eyes and know what they're holding. But, you know, I've been sitting at a table and been offered several $1,000s to take my glasses off because they just see a mirror. And, you know, I don't, it really affected them, you know. And I would have been glad to take my glasses off for a couple $1,000s, but it was affecting them so
More
much that
it was scaring them.
I wouldn't dare take them off.
Because you're very expressive. It's one reason we said we're going to come out here and talk. How are you not expressive sitting at a poker table?
You know, when I play at the casinos and all, we play for so much money that we take the fun out of it. It's strictly about the money to me, and it's not fun playing for that kind of money. And I don't talk. I sit there and I pay attention to the game. I used to play a lot, and I've been pretty successful at playing, made a lot of money, which paid for quite a few pieces of land. But I hadn't played a whole lot in the past 5 years or so, because you got to be mentally focused. And with all the cattle and land and everything that I've got going, I sit at the poker table thinking about what all else I need to be doing.
I thought poker was very much about math. How'd you do in math at Seminary High?
Well, when I was in high school, I played football and chased women, and never did go to college, never did make real good grades in high school. Could have made straight A's, but it just didn't really interest me. Math, I done great, you know, algebra and all that, I didn't, mainly because I didn't care.
Right.
But I've always been good at, you know, adding and subtracting and dividing numbers in my head, and that's part of calculating the odds at a poker table.
You have done a lot of things. You've obviously spent time in Vegas. You could do your business pretty much anywhere. Clearly you've got family here, but do you think about leaving this area?
Well, my wife thinks about it a lot more than me. We recently bought a house down in Gulf Shores, and she's ready to move. And but you know, to run a business good, especially, you know, like the cattle business, you need to be somewhat hands-on. So I like being here. I love Gulf Shores. I love being down there. But you know, after I stay down there 2 or 3 days, I get restless. I want to come back up here and get on the tractor, do something else. And I've got very good employees. As far as the day-to-day operations, it runs just as good or better when I'm not here, because I got the best help in the world. You know, but as far as the finances and all that, I run that myself. So I've got to be around a certain amount. I do enjoy real estate just as much or more than I do cattle. And I'm doing more and more in real estate, and actually probably going to scale back the cow business some in the future and do more real estate.
I've really enjoyed speaking to Craig today. I hope you guys have as well. And that is Entrepreneurs in Mississippi. Thank you, guys.